Educate and raise the masses, and thus alone a nation is possible. Swami V.V.Lakshminarayana once said. The quote above should serve as a guideline for every country, because education is so very integral to a nation that the state and quality of it can determine a country's status for the next couple of decades to come. India has some of the top educational institutions in the world. The 16 Indian Institutes of Technology, the 13 Indian Institutes of Management, and the nearly 30 National Institutes of Technology. The Indian government considers these schools and colleges so important that it granted them the status of institutes of national importance. The IITs are so well known throughout the world that Bill Gates, the former CEO and founder of Microsoft, once said that the IIT is an incredible institution. And Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, called the IIT a world treasure. Now, you all may be wondering, why is he telling me all this? I know that there are great technology schools in India. I'm telling you this because of a paradox. A great paradox that India is experiencing now and will continue to experience for the next few decades unless action is taken. Here it is. This year, nearly 90 million people will enter the Indian workforce. However, according to a report, most of them will lack the necessary skills and proper mindset for productive employment. And this is not an entirely new situation that India is facing. Of India's nearly 1.3 billion population, 550 million people are under the age of 25. However, of those 550 million, only 11% of them are enrolled in tertiary educational colleges, such as engineering colleges or medical colleges. And this 11% is very poor when compared to the world average of 23%. This lack of higher education for a large fraction, nearly 90% of the 20-year-olds in India, is the root of a much more complex problem: income inequality. Yes, the failure of the Indian public education system is leading to a much bigger social issue. And income inequality itself has very serious ramifications. For example, there's a direct relation between inequality and poverty, a very big problem in India. In 2012, it was estimated that nearly 37% of Indians live below the poverty line. That's $1.25 per day, not per hour, but per day. In nations with high inequality, there are also low rates of social goods, such as trust among strangers, women's status, and social mobility. So we can see that income inequality comes with a very large negative consequence and a lack of positive outcomes. How can we address this issue? Well, like I said earlier, one of the main causes of this income inequality is the lack of proper public secondary and tertiary educational institutions in India. Those that are going to private secondary schools and private colleges are doing very well, but those that go to government schools are not getting the proper skills necessary to be successful in the workforce. More specifically, skills like communication, leadership, public speaking, and management. In the real world, it's not enough to be an effective engineer that can build a machine or a surgeon that can do a successful transplant. It's also important to be able to communicate those thoughts clearly to another group or an individual. Schools and colleges in India need to incorporate these ideas into their curriculum to create not just the architects of the future, but also the leaders of tomorrow. It is imperative that the Indian government recognize this problem in particular, because fixing the public education system will significantly reduce income inequality and make the wealth of India accessible to all. This will in turn reduce social ills like poverty and increase social goods such as women's rights and even the number of patents issued. India truly is an exceptional country. We're the world's largest democracy. We have continued to astonish the world with our nonviolent protests for independence by our freedom fighters and our mathematical and scientific advancements. But if we want to keep amazing the world, we need to address this problem so we can one day create the India that Mahatma Gandhi and Nehru imagined. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Panch, na? Panch. Yeah, thank you very much for your presentation. And the basic points which you have touched upon regarding the income inequality, and you said education is the solution. One of the main solutions is education. And also we should see that the government improves the education and also imparts skills like communication, leadership, public speaking and management in the children. Because what we have, I have observed here is, I think up to the 12th standard we have all the government institutions only. I mean most of the children, because I visited 2-3 schools here, I found that first thing what I see in a school is the playground. If the playground is good in a school, the school is good. That is very, very clear, that is what. But going back to our place, now we have vertical education nowadays. The education has become vertical. I mean here I see everything horizontal. So that's why what Panch basically says is that we have to get back to the horizontal education. And education is the only solution. That's what is education again? I just refer to Albert Einstein again. What Einstein says, education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. This is what is the definition of education by Einstein. So I always see you should make a distinction between education and literacy. Literacy is somebody learning something and he able to read and write. But education is what this definition is the most appropriate. So if you, whatever is there, like what I was talking about, the quality of that small girl Sindhu, so she is educated. Even though a PhD man or maybe a big doctor, but he doesn't have concern for the nation or the neighbor, he is not educated, he is only literate. So that is what is the distinction you have to make between education and literacy. Next. Again, this is what is the Swami Vivekananda said. Education is the manifestation of perfection present already in the man. Divinity is the manifestation of the religion already in a man. He says, you have already the perfection. So it only manifests the perfection. That's what Vivekananda said. So the suggestions what Panch has given is that let us see that proper education is imparted and see that the inequality of income is reduced so that India also can create more opportunities to the people there so that they can come up and the nation also as a whole can come up. Yeah. Next. Again, I am just reading this Paramahamsa Swamiji. So he says, need for how to live schools. That's what he says. You have schools, but you need to have how to live schools. He says, in those schools, the art of living need to be taught. The art of living, how to live a life. That's what he says. And also balanced development of all human faculties. So my endeavor, I am making use of this platform also with the permission of Canara Foundation. Because what I have seen, because I have interacted with almost 7 lakh students in the states, both the states, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. What I find, and I completely agree with Panch, that we need to have prepare a man or a student who has all the qualities. So for that, very soon I am planning to start an initiative. It is called Joint for Development Initiative, wherein with the help of the initiative and with the help of people, we want to see that if a student stands, he should be the role model for others. He should have all the qualities that are required in addition to literacy. So like what he said, public speaking, like he said, a good health or good sports facilities, all these things put together, we want to have a facility. Because at this moment, I would like to refer to Khammam district, wherein one of my close friends, Dr. Vasireddy Ramesh, every year he organizes a Balotsav, 3 days program, wherein children from all the schools come there and they perform in various activities. So it becomes a 3-day activity, but my endeavor is to see that throughout the year, such type of activity have to be created. And also Ms. Jay Talluri he's very much here. I think his uncle also runs a similar program also in Khammam district again. So why not we have in all the places? That is another thing what I am thinking about. So ultimately the youth, the next generation, we have to prepare them to face the challenges. So I put forth very soon, I will be coming out with a website also on this, and also I will be approaching you people that what best we all can come together and we can do so that we have the best youth in the country. Thank you much. Any responses from the audience so that we can move on to the next speaker? Yeah. Some mic can go.
So I wanted to thank Panch for putting up a very good presentation. You have done a very good analysis and put up all the statistics. Just wanted to bring up one of the points that you touched upon, which was trying to improve the schools or trying to improve or making a person literate. More than that, I was thinking, how can we, more like a comparative study, right? In India, the government schools are not up to the mark. Maybe they are, I don't know, because I haven't been living in India and I haven't done a very good analysis. But I think for a middle class person, the education has become very expensive. I guess that's where the cost of living goes up for any family, right? Bringing up 2 kids, 1 kid, sending them to a good school, and everything. So I think if the government schools in India are improvised, that would definitely make a difference. So that was one of the suggestions.
Yeah, definitely. That is one of the important things. In fact, we were asking why not all the public children should be made to go to government schools only.
Yes, yes.
That is one thing which I am noting. Why the son of a collector, why not the son of SP, why not son of the forest officer, they all should be made compulsory to go to the government schools only.
Yes,
Because in WhatsApp nowadays lot of things come, because nobody wants to go to a government school. Nobody wants to go to a government hospital. Nobody wants to get into a government transport, but everybody wants a government job.
yes.
That is the paradox. Why?
So the question,
it is what it is. Yeah.
right. One of the questions and the suggestions was, the question is, will the joint venture or one of the ventures that you are going to start, would it address that? And second of all, I think it's a great initiative, especially because it will not only improve India's economy, where it will start employing better and I'd say qualified individuals into the government schools, hospitals, and I'm sure it will also boost India's economy.
I completely, because most of us, we are all from the government schools only. I think all of us, you always watch with me that we are all from the government schools only. Of late, the thing is, the consumerism has gone into all the fields. Maybe your medical services, maybe your education, so a lot of things. So we need to take back something from here. That's why I visited. I found that till third standard, it's all government schools which are doing extremely well. I think most of the children, they are all in the government schools only. Yeah, right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.